Okay, I'm gonna go over how I make these. What I've got here is actually a cleaner for wheels, and what I have on the end of this is a kid's baseball bat, and I cut it, put a little screw through it to keep the plastic from. This is after a little bit of trial and error, but there's a screw there, a little oil in there to keep it from going crazy. You just stick it in there, it fits very well. And then I took a can of Copenhagen, and that keeps this from wobbling. You just run that in there, it squeezes pretty tight, get that. Now I can spin and sand as I go. So this one's actually a pretty good piece. If you look here, this is basically where it was sitting upside down as the resin dried, and it just dripped like that. You know, lots of sanding. I made this. This is a light pole or a light fixture of sorts. I don't know. I zip stripped it to the shelf. And yeah, block of sand, drill, and just get going. This one's actually a pretty good piece. Hear that clicking, and that's where the piece is. Really not too bad. This one came out really good. One I had earlier. This one here is drying now. Had a few spots where the mat rolled over top, and it had air bubbles in it. Those air bubbles make it weak. Had to drill those out, re-resin it. This one looks like I was able to sand it down and sometimes, so this one's, it's just going to keep lumping like that, hoping it would go a little quicker. When you get it like that, it's a lot easier to hand sand it. Get those trouble pieces down. So you can see there, these lines right there, that's where that crease is. That's just from the resin dripping. The thing is with fiberglass, is it's not the resin that's strong. The resin is actually very brittle if it dries by itself. I mean, you can crack it, it's like glass. What makes fiberglass strong is the two together, fiber and glass. So depending on the weave, I use two different types of weave. I use a mat and I use a standard stitch. You can do like, they have names for them, but they're different stitches that bend easier, you know, and the quality of the strength of your product is going to depend on the quality of really the mat that you get. But all I'm doing now is making these a little bit smoother, so when I spin it, I don't have a lathe. This is my lathe that I made. Maybe one of these days I'll get it. Alright, problem children out of the way.
Is this yours?
Tell by the sound. It's kind of clicking into this. It's going over those flat spots that I have. modification for my Honda Fury. This is a fork cover, or it will be. Yeah, well, not such a drip. I missed when I was standing straight. The little ones will go away. Sandpaper's about needing to be changed. This one I've already used one. So like I said, this is actually a really good piece. This one's not a bad one at all. Like, this is going to be minimal sanding time. So this isn't going to take me probably 20 minutes. If I could actually, my ADD would slow down, I could buckle down and actually just do it. And just hold it. 20 minutes, probably all it takes to this down. And like I said, this one came out perfect. The thing is with these is every time you get it, and I'll go over, I'll actually make one from scratch, so you can see start to finish. But some of them are better than others, you know, because well, we'll go over that because that's a whole thing. The downside to doing it this way, my makeshift lathe, because it's foam holding it in there, nothing like stronger that I can tighten down. If I squeeze too hard, it just spins, so I can't push the hardest, which is why doing it by hand, I can get a little bit more knocked off quicker, but then I'm going to have flat spots, it won't be perfectly round. Then you're going to have, you know, it's not going to show so much off to a distance, but when you get close to it, it's stupid. Here's what you get a lot of after a little while of sanding, and this is where it's going to kind of tell you if you need to keep going or if you need to put another layer on. So when you look here, you'll see a smooth spot. It hasn't been touched by the sandpaper. Looks like I've got a hole here I need to fix. That's actually good, though I can show you guys how to fix that. But besides that, what you're wanting to pay attention to is fibers coming through. So this is 2 layers of fiber, so it's very strong. You can see right here, it's weak. So I can do 2 things there. One, I can fix it. In this case, what I'm doing is I'm putting a cut all the way down. Well, almost all the way down, like from here up, and that wraps around your suspension. So in this case, instead of fixing that, I'm just going to make my cut there, and then that's going to cut that piece out anyway. What happened there, and you can see how it's lighter in some spots. So what it is a PVC pipe, okay, and then there's a trash bag rolled around that so it doesn't stick, and then it's duct taped. And then you take carpet, which I use just stretchy black. You always want to use black or a dark color. Reason being is because as you're putting that fiberglass, that paper on, and you apply your resin, you can, once it turns black, you know that it's soaked through. If it's, and again, we'll go over all that and kind of I'll do a video on the first stages so you can see what I'm talking about. But what happened here is that duct tape, because it's a lighter spot, chances are I thought I was all the way through and I wasn't. But looking closer here, where's this camera? Where's that? Right. Oh, there it is. Okay. So looking right here, you can probably see these fibers. Just a second to zoom. Those fibers are starting to come out. You can't have any fibers coming out. Those fibers are basically cloth and glass, or maybe it is just pure glass, I don't know. But basically the resin like melts it together and makes it, you know, hard. But if those fibers are out, that paint, you'll see it in the paint and it'll look like checkers, you know, and it doesn't look good unless it's carbon fiber, which carbon fiber, that's the general goal. You just sand this resin down and buff it. And you just want to see the fibers. These aren't carbon fiber. If anybody wants carbon fiber, you know, pay for the stuff and send it to me, I'll do it. But other than that, that'd be a huge pain in the ass. So I'm not really jumping on that. Yeah, I'm just going to make my cut there, so I'm not going to fix that spot. It's only the one little spot. It's very strong. And that's the thing with fiberglass. You can have a weak spot right here, but right here there's literally no give. So it's not necessarily, just because you have a weak spot doesn't mean it weakens a big area. It's only the spot where you missed. Now if I were to fix that, what I would do, 2 things I could do. The easiest one, if it's small enough, you take a drill bit and you just drill it slightly. Take a piece of mat. And this is the difference. This is matte, so the fibers go in every direction. So essentially it makes strength in every direction. This is the cloth that I use. The cloth, it just bends easier, so when you're wrapping, and essentially it provides strength in an up direction and a sideways direction. Diagonal direction, not so much. However, if you're making something round, it's only up and down. That diagonal is round, so you don't need the strength there. Yeah, if I were to fix that, I'd either drill it out, put some mat in there, and then just douse it with resin, or I would cut a full square out and replace the piece. The downside to that is if you cut a square out and replace the piece, you have to replace it from the bottom and the top. You can't, this is 2 layers, so you have to put 2 layers on there, and if I put them both on top, it would just disappear when I sand it down. So you'd have to do it from the bottom, and then not necessarily the top. You want to be like the middle to make it work. Back to sanding. I'm a firm believer in buying cheap stuff. I paid like 30 bucks for this drill. Had it for over a year. Using it for stuff like that. Still hasn't let me down. And if it does let me down, I'll buy another one for 30 bucks and I'll still spend less than a DeWalt or a Milwaukee